Hi everyone, my name is Cassandra Chin, and today I'm talking to Ivan.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Cass.
So I met you because you invited me to DevOps Days,
Ljubljana, yeah?
yeah, which is in Slovenia, and I got an opportunity to talk about basically how to raise your kids to become future technologists. So thank you for that.
No, thank you.
And can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name's Ivan. Good luck pronouncing my last name, which is Zupancic. I do consultancy. I do thought leadership. I also organize DevOps Days Ljubljana in Slovenia.
I was interested in maybe your path to how you became a technologist.
Sure. So I'm not a conventional path. I didn't go down to a conventional path. I was initially the spark was for more of a mechanical engineer kind of role, which then shifted at one point. But at one point I wasn't happy, and
I think you mentioned something special about how you were raised.
yeah. So I come from a family background that's middle or lower class. No one really around me was into computers or into any sort of technology. The mantra was, keep your head down, do your 8 hours or whatever shift, and be happy. And that was the definition of good enough. And we are sticking to the median. And that simply wasn't for me. Now, the engineering part was, I really loved my dad. And my dad would give me engineering challenges going on weekend trips, like calculating how thick the chain needed to be to raise the car because we need to fix the exhaust pipe or whatever, which was good. But then Dad passed. And at one point I shifted more into more system administrator role.
Where's the ice cream part of that?
Yeah, I love the ice cream part. So I had a time crunch problem to solve. And if I did it in the correct time, there was this donut shop that we stopped that had the best ice cream. The American style one when you where it would trickles down, not the scoops. I had a lot of ice cream.
Just wondering, how old were you around this time?
I had to be around 15, 16 years old, just about going to high school. Probably slightly less, because this was, getting, I guess, figuring out what's a good direction in life to take, right? So I'm guessing also, one, the parents wanted me to be quiet in the car, but also figuring out where one fits.
And did this contribute to why you liked electrical engineering at the time?
Yeah, I think the family background helped because they're more handymen. And so they're more handyman, and also I guess monkey see, monkey do, right? So it was closer to Dad in that regard. So I did it for that as well. But then also I found joy because there was a common point that we could talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, I think sometimes at that age, just being able to spend time with your parents and share the same interest is really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. It also, when you're younger, you wanna, I think, feel as part of the group as much as possible and not be the kid. And one thing you could do is, I think, is you raise your knowledge about a certain topic, so then you have something to talk about. And it's not just you being a kid that, doesn't know any better, but it's also, okay, so person X, or that would be me, right? In this case, knows something about something. Makes you feel part of the group, if you will.
Yeah, I can see that. How did you get into technology eventually?
Yeah. So my dad passed, and the spark wasn't there anymore. Not really. It's still fine, but not really, not the same. So I started doing more system administrator work, which was fine. I used to work for a research institute, like managed the thousands of machines. Eventually that got kind of boring, but still, it's a good job. I'm doing in tech, better than flipping burgers in McDonald's. Not that it's bad for anyone who has to do it, but not for me. And then I got poached. It's like, hey, would you like to do DevOps? What's DevOps? All right. So don't worry. We'll show you. We'll teach you. We'll get you a mentor. Promise the moon and the stars. I took the chance, and we went for it. And that was, I guess, a more of a developer foray, if you will, and going away from system administration, right?
How do you think going to conferences like KubeCon or the conferences you run has changed your perception on technology?
We had a really good discussion yesterday, actually, about how the humans, the human interaction and the people should come first, but the technology is the enabler and the accelerator. Be it in communication or problem solving or expression or, pick a field. Going to conferences like this, I think, is you can ask people who are working on products, why is this the way it is? Why didn't you choose path B, C, or D? Then you get to see talks, you get to see demos. You can go in depth as much as you'd like with said people. And then eventually I think connections and bonds happen, just like between, for instance, me and you, who are no longer strangers and might not have been possible if we didn't see each other at KubeCon in Paris and then in DevOps Days in Ljubljana. And I'll add one more thing to this. It's like I saw that people come from various stages of life with various knowledge and capabilities, but certainly not limitations on how people perceive themselves. And then if you meet them where they are, I think that's where you can start growing and developing a relationship and maybe, if you're lucky enough, a solution for something.
I think sometimes, I don't know, it's easy to see that we think that a development job is about having your head to the keyboard and to the screen. So, I think, going to conferences and meeting different people, we're still developers, but there's a social aspect of it.
Yeah, they're usually, right, it's not a bot writing these things, it's a person. So the first time going to a conference, who don't want to do any commercials here, that's not KubeCon, is like, whoa, well, yeah, these are cool people, right? No wonder the product's cool. And then, we hang out and it's like, okay, cool. And now we're friends, right? I also use their product, but we're still friends, right? And it's like meeting them and, you can dive, like I said, you can dive as much as possible. It's like, why did you do this the way that you do it? And they will gladly tell you, unless bound by NDA, but, and then you can have a greater, I think, appreciation to this, but also you see the human aspect. Now, because there's a friend element here, usually you don't mess with friends, right? There's banter, sure, but you won't stab a friend in the back. And what I mean by this is, if there's a person behind the software that's written, it's a whole different relationship as well. Like, hey, John, I saw that this is not working correctly. Why is that? Instead of doing a really nasty pull request and just, blasting them with hate.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. We see development as being like a desk job, but there's people behind it.
Of course, there's always.
And you can make friends.
Yeah, and what what I mentioned before is it's people first. The technology is the enabler and the accelerator, or, insert any fancy word here, but I think it's always people first, and that's why you're doing a set thing. It's for a solution that will help people.
Yeah, I think it's really great that like we met in Paris and you
Yep.
invited me to your conference, which was nice. And now you're here. So thank you for this great interview, Eva.
Thank you very much for your time. It's been a blast, and I guess I'll see you next time.
Yep.